Hello, my name is Steve Dubose. I live at 1266 South Gibson Street in Huntington, Texas. Zip code 75949. I'm making this video for all my representatives who I vote for and who I voted for that are currently in office. I am a member of the Republican Party. I vote. I go to city council meetings. I go to county commissioners meetings. I actually participate in the process. The reason for this video is very simple. We in Huntington, Texas are not being represented by our city officials and our local officials and our county officials. I know that every representative who are going to come out and say that, well, we don't get involved in local politics. Well, here's my reply to that statement. Sir, you need to. Sir or ma'am, you need to. Right now, in the city of Huntington, there is a sexual harassment case going on with a proven sexual harassment, sexual assault case on two individuals on a 14-year-old boy in the high school. Our jury selection, our grand jury only meets once a month. So in other words, what we're saying is that there is no way possible that we can actually get all these that are in play, the people that are involved. They will never see the light of the courtroom for 2 years at the current pace that we're on. There have been two indictments, two individuals who actually said they committed the crime. They actually committed it. They actually were indicted, and they're actually waiting, and they're actually going through the process, and they're waiting for their trial. However, the fact is, I bring to the point to this, ladies, ma'am, sir, ma'am, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to this point is this. For 10 years, complaints were filed with with Huntington Independent School District. Not one of these complaints were filed or was law enforcement notified. They chose to actually handle the investigation in themselves. Current mandate, current law set up by my representatives have actually stated that this cannot happen, that if anything that happens to a child at school, which involves sexual harassment, sexual assault, hazing, bullying, whatever the case may be, they need to report it to local authorities. This was not done. And it continues not to be done. Our our school board will not bring up this issue. Our school board will not inform. Thank you, Kathy. Our school board actually admitted saying, you know what? It was not our locker room. It's all the coach's fault. The Texas Rangers came into this school. They conducted an investigation. On the principal's desk, they found materials that were actually, and notes that were regarding this incident that took place. And they were doing their own investigation. I cannot tell you how many laws this breaks and how this demeans a community. What I can tell you is that there's nothing happening on this case. The age-old question must be asked. Who knew? When did they know it? And why did they do anything about it? The TEA, Texas Education Administration, were contacted. They were told, I was told, well, you can file a complaint, but we really can't do anything about it. So in other words, our TEA cannot get involved in an investigation that's in a school that's actually sexually molesting individuals, young children, young kids, young men and women who are coming up through the system and should have a place to go and actually learn in safety. We can't promise that. Instead, we are protecting the individuals who actually did not hands-on commit this crime. However, the fact they knew about it and they did nothing. I suggest maybe to you, it might seem as it does to me, they're much just as guilty as everybody else. When going through the investigation, the Texas Rangers have discovered one thing: that there are at least 20 cases that have came forward in the last 5 years that were actually filed to complain upon on the student webpage, talked to by teachers, talked to the principal, talked to anybody they could. However, the fact is that one of these individuals, young men, young ladies, they did one thing: they trusted their school. They trusted their school to actually go to higher authorities so they would actually be able not to have to go through this type of situation again, and they did not do so. The complaints piled up, and the school decided their punishment. This all comes into play because the fact is that a $2 million grant or a $2 billion bond initiative was supposed to be voted on, and this came out 2 days prior to that bond initiative being voted on. Could it be that the Huntington Independent School District wanted to keep this a secret for as long as they can so they could pass their bond initiative to where the $2 million were directly going to the athletic department? Could it be that they were hiding this information to get the bond passed, or get the bond passed before this news broke out? I don't know. I ask you this question. To my state representatives, we still have no inclination from the DA. We have no statement. We have no information on whether this investigation has reached its term. We have no information whatsoever from the district attorney that he's actually pursuing the case. Where is he at on the case? And are our kids safe at school? Or does this continuing pattern, this continue to happen, and this pattern has been unbroken? Today, where we live, our children are subject to very, very many things when they go to school, to include school shootings, to include bullying, to include hazing, to sexual harassment, to sexual assault. They are now having to be required to actually deal with this when they go to school. You would think that a school district would actually put that on their priority list to provide a safe environment for children to go to school. To this day, sir, we cannot tell you with 100% accurate feeling that we send our kids to school and they are protected. It's not. I am here to address the fact is that the superintendent, the school board members, all these individuals and the parents and teachers, they knew of this behavior, but the parents could not do anything about it because the school would not actually forward their complaint. The school would not do their job. Now, it goes without saying that since our grand jury only meets once a month, for 2 years, this is going to go on because the fact is it'll take that long to actually, for them to decide which one should actually go to trial. So the school conducted their own investigation. The school decided what the appropriate action should be on these students. Law enforcement was never involved. So now we turn it over to our authorities, and our authorities are giving us the cold shoulder. It's not even to be mentioned. There was a gag order placed upon the county employees saying you're not to talk about this investigation, or you're not supposed to talk about this at risk of losing your job. The superintendent was on record saying, well, that's his locker room. To this statement, I ask, it's your damn school. Please tell me that my student, that school administrators know what's going on in their own school. Please tell me that the teachers that actually knew that this was going on, please tell me that they followed up and they actually They actually reported this, because it has to be proven that they actually reported this, because if they were a teacher and they did not report it, it cost them the job. They can never teach in Texas again. So we ask for your help. I'm sending this to every congressman that I could actually think of, because the fact is that we've been stonewalled for so long, and this is a serious issue. Last year, we had a bomb threat at our middle school. 6 months before this, we had a person who actually wrote on the bathroom wall, "I'm going to blow this place up at a certain time." We have multiple accounts in our county of individuals being caught at school with guns, with knives, and yet we don't get any cooperation from our police department, from our school system, to make us feel comfortable about sending our kids to school there. The old adage is this: every time there is a school shooting, every time there's something that happens in the school, people will always go through that. Oh, it can't happen here. It can't happen here. Now the parents are asking themselves, they're saying, well, everybody told us it can't happen here. Sir, ma'am, it just did. It happened, and there's nothing being done about it. The individuals who knew of this crime, knew about this particular case, and also knew about the hazing problem that we have in the school, but all the above, did not come forward and did not actually warn the parents. They did not inform the parents that there would maybe be a problem. Addressed this to Mr. Senator Ashby. Mr. Senator Ashby, changing subject. Mr. Ashby, let me ask you a question. On your platform, you ran for that you were concerned greatly about medical care in rural areas. It bothered you because you were worried about ambulance services being provided. You were actually worried about how these older generation people actually get to the hospital when they're sick, when they experience a stroke, a heartbeat, heart attack, stroke, mental illness, the things that actually go with being elderly. Please tell me why that a city council would consider buying 2 new police vehicles, which they've purchased. I'll transfer that in a minute. That they purchased brand new, but they will not pass an interlocking agreement between us and the county to provide us actual ambulance service. They were actually, so can we say policing for profit? In other words, these individuals chose to buy 2 new police vehicles instead of providing ambulance service to the people. This mandate was given by the mayor, Mayor Harris. The vote had not been taken. There were concerns about the healthcare issue. There was concerns. Why are we not doing this? Let's think about this. Where can we get the money? How can we actually get this done? The mayor stood up and mandated to the city manager, the treasurer, and actually the police chief said, I don't care. You guys are going to get this done. You 3 are going to go into the room. We're going to obtain financing. We're going to obtain 2 brand new vehicles, and I want them on the street by next month. Where's the problem with that? The city council didn't even get a chance to vote. There is no official record that actually says yes or no on a council vote. You may receive a document that says there was. However, I challenge you to please look at and please research the film that was provided to the public that shows they didn't have a consensus. They didn't have any vote. It was the mayor stood up and mandated. Can you say policing for profit? In a town of 2,100 people, 119 people, we have 8 constables that are currently on the payroll. 8. General rule is that 1 cop per 1,000 people. So at best, we're on Highway 69. At best, they would have actually 3. Our crime statistics does not warrant 8 constables. Our crime statistics, the worst crime we have is somebody breaking into a building. But we need 8 officers on the payroll. You see where I'm going with this. More than 30, if a police department, law enforcement agency actually draws more than 30% of their income from law enforcement, then they are responsible for paying back the state of Texas the extra. So in other words, if they make $40,000, the state of Texas gets $10,000 back. It's not happening. They are cheating the government now. A mayor who actually stands up and actually says he's going to propose an ordinance that little girls cannot play softball on Sundays. It's bad for our appearance, and they should be in church. I know that you individuals have been elected. I know that you guys can actually see the discrimination in that action statement. I can actually see some of you individuals shaking your head. So what I'm reporting to you today is very simple. The city of Huntington and the county of Angelina of Texas are putting profit and money before the safety and well-being of their citizens. We are suffering from lack of basic needs. We do not have a fire department. We do not have an ambulance service. A local ambulance is 9 miles away. We have a police department that constantly goes outside of their jurisdiction to issue tickets that are illegal. I'm not just reporting a speed trap. What I'm reporting is a fact is that the total blatant disregard for the law and the rule of law that exists in the state of Texas. This is not a republic of what I'm explaining to you. This is a socialist type ran government. Where actually individuals who actually speak up at a city council meeting are actually arrested for not agreeing with the mayor. If you would like me to, I will provide for you the case. A case where an individual was arrested for actually disturbing a meeting was held for 24 hours without food, without water, never checked on, while they made up charges. I think we can all get on the bandwagon and say the Sandra Bland case is actually something that we should pay attention to, because the fact is that in Texas, in Southeast Texas, in Angelina County, there are individuals who are arrested that are never checked on until someone finally decides to see if they're okay. Your meals are delivered, and if you do not actually just drop them off there. You would think after your meal was dropped off 3 times, you would actually ask this individual if they're okay. It does not happen in Angelina County. Our Texas Rangers have conducted an investigation. Their findings were very simple. Hey, Kathy, great. I'll post that. I'm going to post it in the link, Kathy. Thank you. I will post it in the link. I would love to share this information. So here's the issue that we have in mind is that we are coming to you as a last resort People tell us all the time, vote them out. Okay, we would love to. However, the fact is that we are actually going to feel our government come around us because we did not vote for who they wanted us to vote for. We have a mayor who went to a catfish festival and actually to a person who was running and said in front of the entire crowd, "You will never be on the city council as long as I'm mayor." They then went on They went on a character attack to attack this individual for nothing that she did. There's nothing that she did. We have a city council who are discussing the issues before they actually even go to vote. For 2 years running, all votes that were taken were in the same manner as of the mayor. In other words, they all voted unanimously for the mayor. If this did not get this accomplished, then the actual mayor, he will stand up and make a mandate. If you speak in front of a public hearing, he will tell you, you can't just come in here and tell us what to do. My representatives, this is my constitution. It's worn, it's tattered because I've read it. I carry it wherever I go. Since when am I, as a citizen, not allowed to address my grievances in front of my city council, in front of my government, the one who represents me? Who gives him that right? Who gives a county the right to try frivolous charges on a person who actually just disagreed with the mayor and was arrested and taken to jail to send a message? This is the same county police department that a veteran 4 years ago was in his home. He had called and asked for help with his PTSD. He actually was informed by the national hotline that stay put, we're going to get an ambulance to you. We want to monitor you to the hospital. This is the same county that actually sent 4 individuals to this individual's home, broke into his home, no warrant, no identification, no nothing, tased him 4 times, and put him in a chokehold. This is me. He put him in a chokehold till I lost conscience. And they charged me with resisting arrest. No crime else committed. Resisting arrest. Mr. Ashby, I'm actually addressing this to you, but I'm going to put this video out to anybody that will actually listen and actually hear, because these things are happening, Mr. Ashby, in your district. This is happening in your state. This type of government will implode if you do not act. If you do not make a few phone calls, investigate the situation, find out what's really going on here, then when it happens, please don't be the one, well, I didn't think it could ever happen there. I'm tired of hearing that statement. We have a corrupt system in Angelina County. We have a corrupt system in the city of Huntington. And nobody will pay attention. The tax relief bill that you just passed, we just recently got our appraisals in from the city on what we're going to be taxed on. I've been living in this house was built in 1973. It has gone up in value, and I have done no home improvements. There's a crack in my concrete underneath my slab, but it goes up in value. Please explain to me. I'm a 3-year-old. The halls of Austin run deep. You guys have made some very serious decisions. You guys have been standing for the people in your districts. One of the main complaints I hear from my representatives is this: we don't never hear from the people. We want you to call in. We want you to keep us informed. We do so. And so We get no action. So we're asking, are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? I live in a town where you cannot send your kid to school, young man or young woman, to school and guarantee their safety. I live in a town to where I can't get proper ambulance service to get to the hospital if I need it. I live in a town to where you hear sirens all day that go on in a population of 2,119, and they call it not a speed trap. But the Houston Chronicle, roadsnacks.org have all identified Huntington as the top most miserable place to live and the top 10 of speed traps. We take putting police vehicles on the road in a no crime area instead of producing a transportation avenue for our sick and our wounded, are the people who actually need it the most, which is our elderly community. We are mostly an elderly community here. People come out to Sam Rayburn and they actually want to actually retire out here. So they move out by the lake, which is actually not recommended, because the fact is that you can't get ambulance service out here. So I'm asking my representatives to do this. Please look into this situation. My information, I will be leaving in the link below. I will be giving you, and I have 3 years of documentation that will prove everything, that'll actually make you want to scratch your head. And you will actually come away with what the hell is going on in Angelina County. I am reaching out to you because the fact is that we are being intimidated, character assassination. We are being attacked by our own government because we choose to ask questions, because we choose to demand answers. We choose to know what's going on in our own government, and we are being vilified for it by the threat of jail, no charges filed, by the threat of having to hire an attorney whenever 20% of our population is actually on the poverty level, and they continue to want to raise fees. We had a 19% increase in our sewer and water bills. Took effect last September. This money was actually slotted for a well fund that we put up to a well, a number 3 well, in case it broke. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you this right now: the number 3 well was never. It was in first phase of construction. This money, as said later by our city manager, was actually said, that money's gone. We spent it on other bills. And they did not even create a separate account so we could actually track the money. There is no transparency. Transparency defined by this government is we can lie to the people. We all actually tell the same lie, and guess what? They all believe it. But that's not true. I served in the military. I was in the Army, and I was actually in the Marine Corps. Did 2 tours. Served 9 years of this. And I'll tell you this right now. This is not the country or the county or city that I fought for. This is not the way that government, local government, county government, and our state government is supposed to act. We come to you to represent us. We come to you to ask for you to go and put your best foot forward and actually do hard decisions that actually say that, you know what, this is what my people want. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you this. Your notions of how it's going in Austin, you need to put your feet on the street. You need to see what's going on. You need to start asking questions, because the fact is, first of all, it's your job. But the next thing is you will be appalled at what you may find out in some of your districts. This is a prime example of a citizen reaching out to their public to actually do something about crimes that are being committed and have been committed in the past and actually are affecting our children. There's election time coming up. Like I said, I'm Republican. But on this election, I'm going to it with open mind, like many people here going to it with an open mind because we don't feel represented. We do not feel that justice is being served on us, and we are tired of being mandated by a mayor that makes his own rules regarding of what the Constitution says, what our Texas Constitution says. He's breaking the law, and no one's actually calling him on it. This is a problem. We need to address this problem. I'm asking for your help. My name is Steve Dubose. I live at 1266 South Gibson Street, Huntington, Texas, 75949. My number is 936. Oh, shit. Oh, 936. Sorry. Let me get my number here. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'll leave it in the link below. Thank you, Kathy. So now it's up to you gentlemen. When a citizen cannot get a full respect or the full transparency, and they cannot expect justice in their own country, in their own state, in their own county, it is my job. It is our job as citizens to stand up and draw attention to these matters. This may not be a special issue to you. It may not be a major concern, but to us it is. We ask you for your help.